Yes, children. So to begin with, Evelyn Glennie, The Sound of Music, Part 1. This is a poster from one of her concerts, okay? And the the introduction tells you that she is the only classical percussionist in the world of music who has made a solo concert career of beating, crashing, and banging objects. She's been awarded a long string of awards, including a 1988 Grammy and 15 honorary doctorates, and counting means it's still going on. Now, you know that Grammy is one of the most prestigious music awards. It's like the Oscar Award, the Academy Award of Music. Glennie Evelyn was born in 1965. She was raised on a farm near Aberdeen, Scotland, and there she took piano lessons and played the harmonica and the clarinet. So she had not started off with the percussion instruments, but once she started getting old, there was some problem with her nerves. Okay, so she tried to hide it. She was 8 years old when she herself realized that she's not able to listen to people or to follow their conversations um, easily. But then um, she started acting as if she understood everything. She did not want to want people to know that she's unable to hear, but then gradually it could not be hidden for long, and then her problem was discovered. Okay, so she is playing one of the instruments that she has created. Yeah, Deborah Colley is the author. Okay, and she has been writing for the Reader's Digest, the CBC radio. She's a broadcaster, and she's also written a couple of books. Cairo, a practical guide, or One Woman's Journey, the portrait of Pauline uh, Vanier. And she is a Canadian and a member of the Writers Union of Canada since 2001. So this is Evelyn Glennie, a clearer picture. The picture in your NCRT book is not so clear, and it's black and white. So here comes the biography of this extraordinary artist. So Evelyn Glennie, the Grammy-winning percussionist, was born normal. Her loss of hearing was gradual. She was at school when she was at school at the age of 8. Her mother Isabel first noticed, that she had a difficulty hearing. She managed to hide it for a while. At the age of 11, the marks of her deafness deteriorated. Her headmistress requested her parents to take her to a specialist, and the specialist told them that it was a result of a nerve damage. The specialist also advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and all. But then she continued to pursue her interest in music and to live a normal life. Now, um, how can you know, be a musician without being able to hear? Music is all about sounds and notations. So most of the teachers were ordinary people. Okay, they could not see the extraordinary talent in Evelyn, except for Ron Forbes. Ron, he was the percussion teacher, and he started, teaching her to be able to sense or feel the different notes that he played on the drums through her organs. Okay, so she says that in the lesson she'll say that some notes I'm able to sense through the lower parts of my body, some through the upper body. So this proved a great help for her, and with her determination and hard work, she achieved the rest. Evelyn Glennie never looked back then. At the age of 16, she toured UK with a youth orchestra. Evelyn, at the age of 16 only, auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music, London, and she scored the highest marks in the history of the Academy. Now, had people, the key people in her life, had these people been uh, conservative people who had thought that there can be uh, nobody can produce music without ears, she would not have been successful. Another side of the coin is that had she been not so determined and not so talented and hardworking, she would not have been able to impress these people. So it was a combination of both these things. Okay, and she was able to create a history here at the Royal Academy of Music, which is um, the mecca of the Western music. So during the 3 years of the course, she achieved the most of the top awards at the Academy, the Royal Academy of Music. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. Soloist is one who plays without the orchestra, one who plays solo. Now you have to be very, talented to be able to perform as a soloist. Not everyone can pull a crowd full of, you know, an entire opera house just by playing alone. Okay, but she was able to do that. She has been awarded a long string of awards, including 1988 Grammy and 15 honorary doctorates. This is the picture, children, that is there in your lesson as well, in your reader. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into her fingertip, fingertips. So when you really play the xylophone, the sound is like that of water, of water coming through, sound waves coming through water, and the different blades, like from the topmost, the different blades are there. They give you different notations. So it's a very interesting instrument to play. My son had it when he was smaller. So this is the gist of Evelyn's journey on the path of music. And she tells us that if we work hard and know where we are going, we'll get there. A very positive thing from from a person who was so seriously challenged. And she got to the top, the world's most sought after multi percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments and a hectic international schedule. So Evelyn tells us that if you trust yourself and if you love something and if you are really passionate about something, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Imagine, most of us would like to have an itinerary of this kind, a hectic international schedule, um, the world polluting to our talent. This is something, was unmistakable, unachievable for most people, but not for Evelyn Glennie. Now, for her, she says, music pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. This is because she is so sensitive to the vibrations that are created by music. We all know why music is so pleasing to our ears, to animals, to babies, and even to plants and trees. Even they have a certain reaction to music. So she says that it pours in through all parts of my body. Other master of percussion, James Blade, says, God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more than far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. In the end, Deborah Cowley says, Evelyn Glennie achieved more than most people twice of her age. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra and demonstrated that it can be very moving. Otherwise, before this, the only instruments that were thought to be moving and which could create some kind of an emotion in you were things like were instruments like piano or the violin or the clarinet, but percussion instruments were mostly used as a support instrument. But she is given the credit of bringing the percussion instruments to the front of the orchestra. By this, she means that she brought it forward as an important part of the orchestra. Evelyn has given inspiration to those who are handicapped. People who look at her and say, if she can do it, I can. And not the least, she has given great pleasure to millions of people. So, children, this was about Evelyn Glennie. And if you see the questions here, you will be able to answer most of these questions with the help of the presentation and the lesson that you read later on. Like how old was she when she went to the Royal Academy of Music? When was her deafness first noticed? When was it confirmed? Who helped her to continue with music? What did he do and say? Name the various places and causes for which Evelyn performs. And how does Evelyn hear music? Now we come to the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. Think of the Shehnai, and the first thing you'll probably imagine is a wedding or a similar occasion or function. Shehnai is considered to be essentially an instrument of the Indian classical music, but Ustad Bismillah Khan has taken it across the borders of India and he has made Shehnai popular internationally. Very few instruments played in India are so popular in the West, such as the Shehnai, and everyone, the music lovers in the West, they know Ustad Bismillah Khan very well. All right. So here comes your next presentation. Yes. So children, can we start with part two? Yes, children, can we start with part two now? All right. So we'll start with the next presentation. Now this is a picture of Ustad Bismillah Khan with his Shehnai. It's an effort to understand Indian classical musicians and instruments, especially the origin of Shehnai and the Shehnai maestro. Maestro means an expert, the master, Ustad Bismillah Khan. Now, the lesson tells us that Shehnai replaced Pungi, which had an unpleasant sound. Pungi is the basic, wind instrument that you get in the fairs and all. And Pungi's tonal quality was improved by a Nai, a barber of Shah or Emperor Aurangzeb. That is why it came to be known as the Shehnai. This lesson beautifully deals with the early life of Bismillah Khan in Dumrao in Bihar. This is the place where he was born and his initial years were spent. Later on, he fell in love with the river Ganga and he spent the rest of his life at Banaras, overlooking his house which overlooked the river Ganga. His grandfather was a Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur kings court. Bismillah Khan took to music early in life when he was 3 years old in the company of his maternal uncle. Bismillah Khan's life is a source of simplicity and communal harmony right from the very beginning when he used to sing Chhyata in Bihariji temple and practicing Shehnai in Vishnu temple and Mangla Maya's temple of Varanasi. See, um, the Indian musicians, including Bismillah Khan, a lot of the masters of Indian classical music are the followers of Islam, but nowhere has the Islam, the religion, come in the way of their passion for music. Indian classical music has many ragas, and a lot of these ragas, and the music teacher will be able to tell you uh, more clearly about these things, that they all have their origin in the Hindu mythology, okay, most of them, and in nature. But this never came in the way of even devout Muslims like Ustad Bismillah Khan, and therefore things like Indian music, the Indian film industry, they are a place or a source of communal harmony, because there the Muslims, the Hindus, and people of other religions, they have worked together to enrich the heritage of our country. So, see, even being a child of coming from a Muslim family, he used to sing, these were the traditional songs sung in the temples. And Shehnai was essentially earlier on only and only played in the temples. And all these Muslim uh, Shehnai experts, Bismillah Khan, his maternal uncle, his father, they all used to play in the temple, and they did not have a problem playing music in a temple. Okay, so that is why it says here that his life is a source of simplicity and communal harmony when he used to, you know, play music in the temple. He used to play temple music. Later on in 1938, he got his big break with the opening of All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938. This was still during the British Raj in 1938, and Ustad Bismillah Khan started playing for the All India Radio. And till today, All India Radio does the Bismillah. Bismillah means the opening of the morning services of AIR with the music played by Ustad Bismillah Khan. That is in tribute to this legend. He also played Chennai on 15th August 1947 from Red Fort in the presence of Pandit Nehru. Bismillah Khan gave many memorable performances both in India and abroad, where he was honored with so many awards. Lot of awards were showered on Ustad Bismillah Khan. And he continued to, in spite of all this, he continued to live a very simple life in this small house in a narrow lane in Banaras. He also gave music in two Bollywood movies, Gunjuti Shehnai and Sanadi Aparna. He was so fond of his motherland, India, Banaras, and the Holy Ganga that he refused an offer to be the head of Shehnai school in USA. And it is said, it's there in the lesson, that when he was offered this position, you come and establish the school, and the people in the West, they are those who understand music, those who love music. They are crazy about Indian music, the variety we have, the number of instruments we have, and the culture, the heritage that we have inherited, and we are still continuing to make. So this uh, one of his students offered, and he was a big shot there in the US, and he said, "Why don't you come and you become the head of the Shehrai school in the US?" But he says, "I will come to the US if you can bring my Banaras over there, if you can bring my Ganga over there." That was just a nice way of saying, "No, thank you." In the year 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna. There's a spelling mistake there. In the end, his life is a perfect example of the rich cultural heritage of India, the one that effortlessly accepts that a devout Muslim like him can very naturally play the Shehnai at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. And then he himself said in his own words, he said, "God knows no religion. God belongs to mankind. I realized this while playing at the Balaji temple." And a very nice picture that I found for you. He was born on the 21st of March 1913. And see here, Akashvani across its network proudly does its Bismillah every morning with the maestro's recital. So um, this is a post by All India Radio. We also know it by this name, Akashvani. And Akashvani says that we remember him, we do the Bismillah. That means we do the opening, okay, the pious opening of the morning with the maestro's recital. His recital is played on the All India Radio till today. Okay, so with this, children, we come to the end of uh, the presentation on both these legends. Now, children, we come to the questions. From whatever you have understood, I just want you to answer these questions. Later on, of course, I'm going to give you uh, a worksheet also. The answers, the correct answers that I always give you in the written form. Okay. So right now, I want you to raise your hands and try and answer these questions. We'll go one by one. So the first question of the first part. Yes,
Yes,
Kushagra?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ha, beta.
Question number one is, how old was Evelyn when she went to the Royal Academy? The answer is
She was 16. All right.
16.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kushagra. Good. Yes, beta. Heath.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the first one,
The second question, beta. When was her deafness?
uh, ma'am, just a second. Ma'am, 18 years old when she was.
No, she was 8 years old. And when was it confirmed?
Ma'am, when she was uh, 11.
Yes. So when she was 11, she was finally taken to the doctor, and he confirmed that it was due to some nerve damage. Thank you. Thank you, Heath. Yes, children. Second part, first question, slightly longer question. You can think about the answer and then you can give an answer. First, you will read the question, first part of the question, answer that, then read the second part of the question, then you can answer it. All right, Ritiksha. Yes, Ritiksha, I have unmuted you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, beta.
Ma'am, I was answering for first group ko second part.
Okay, fine, no problem. Yes, Raghav. Yes,
Hello,
beta. Yes, beta.
who helped her to continue with music. What did he do and say?
Hmm.
Percussionist Ron Forbes helped Evelyn to continue with music. He
Hmm.
began by turning two drums to
Yes,
different notes. He asked her not to listen them through ears, but to try and sense the sound in some other manner.
very good, superb, great. Thank you, Raghav. Okay, the various places and causes for which Evelyn performed. This you will find in the chapter in the ninth paragraph, just above the place where the questions are. Ishan,
Yes, ma'am.
Habita.
Ma'am, how does Evelyn hear music? Ma'am, this one?
No, beta. Question two, second question of the second part. Name the various
Okay, ma'am.
places and causes for which Evelyn.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, beta.
Ma'am, apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives her free concerts in prisons and hospitals. She also gives high priority to classes for the young musicians. Richlin of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says she is a shining inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go.
Yes. So, one question to all of you. Beethoven, fun for deaf children. Okay. Now, who is Beethoven? Does anyone know who's Beethoven? Yes, Raghav.
And who?
Beethoven. Do we know Beethoven?
No, ma'am.
See, this fund for deaf children is named after Beethoven. Okay. Now, Beethoven was also a famous musician. He is the famous musician. He is considered one of the world's best musicians, okay, of all times. He is among the legends in the sense, like in painting, we have Picasso, Leonardo da Vinci, right? In music, we have Beethoven, right? And Beethoven was a German musician, okay, born in the 18th century, and he was also a composer and a pianist. Now, there was one um, similarity, okay, between Beethoven and um, this one, Evelyn Glennie, okay, and he also suffered from this, gradual deafness, and that is why he is also considered a master, okay, that in spite of being uh, deaf, he has also created one of the most beautiful music of all times. And you must also search for his music. You should know, okay, as um, students coming from a very good public school, you should know about these things. Okay, you should, somebody talks to you about Beethoven, you should know who Beethoven is. Okay, somebody talks about the first symphony of Beethoven, you should know about it, you should listen to it. You search the YouTube and find out, the it's the symphonies of Beethoven, and you will love that music, I'm sure. So this is about Beethoven. Coming back to Evelyn Glennie, how does Evelyn hear music? I want some new people to answer, and if you do not volunteer, I am going to ask you to answer randomly. Okay. Yes, Vaibhav. Yes, my dear Vaibhav, I haven't heard you answering a single question all these days. I want you to answer this. How does Evelyn hear music? I have unmuted you, beta. Please answer.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ बेटा. हाँ जी. Yes, Vaibhav, how does she hear? Does she hear through her ears? हाँ बेटा. Vaibhav, answer me.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
She hears through her ears? Yes, Vaibhav?
Ma'am, please wait 2 minutes.
I really do not have 2 minutes to wait for you. I've already taken the class for 36 minutes. One simple question, and I simplify it further for you people. You cannot hear. Or you cannot answer me also. Yes, children. Who will answer this question? Yes, Shaunak?
Ma'am, by the feelings.
See, children, there is a difference between feelings and feeling. Feeling is done through the senses. Feelings is what goes in your heart. So she hears music by feeling it. Okay? Okay, Shaunak? And how does she feel music?
That and
She cannot hear it through her ears. So how does that feeling happen for her? Yes, Anushka.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Anushka.
Evelyn Glanny hears the sound of xylophone through her
The xylophone.
fingertips. She,
Hmm.
yes, ma'am. She removes her shoes on the wooden
Yes.
platform
Uh,
during her performance so that she can feel the vibration of music through her feet.
feet. Yes, yes. So she feels, through the other parts of her body, okay, through her fingertips. She says, I feel the sensations in my hair, cheeks, okay, and through her feet, she takes in the vibrations, okay, when she plays an instrument. The higher the music, the louder the music, the vibrations become strong and strong. Sound travels in vibrations, that you studied in physics. So that is how she is able to sense that music. Now, to be able to sense that in a rhythm, that is something extraordinary. Okay, and this is what Evelyn, what is special about Evelyn Glennie. We all can also, when you sit next to the music system, to the speaker, and it is playing, the music is blaring, and you put your hand uh, right where the speaker is, you can also feel the vibrations, right? But for you, there are only vibrations, they don't have a rhythm for you. Okay. And we, those of us who have ears, it's difficult for us to understand how she can, because we can listen to the music, so our sense of feeling through the skin, through the hands, through the feet is not sharpened. So that is a gift given only to Evelyn Glennie. All right, so now there are some more questions uh, related to the part on Bismillah Khan, like why did Aurangzeb ban the playing of the pungi, because it was made an unpleasant sound. How is the Shehnai different from a music? Where was the Shehnai played traditionally? So it was traditionally played in the temples, but Bismillah Khan has taken it to the international concerts. And how did he get his big break? It was in 1938 when he started playing on the All India Radio. And where did he play? At the Red Fort. Why was the event historic? Because it was the announcement of India's independence and the first address, the Tryst of Destiny address by um, our honorable Prime Minister, uh, ex-Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru took place on this day. And why did he refuse to start the Chennai school in the US? I've told you. So two instances in the text which tell you that Bismillah Khan loves India and Benares. All of these are very easy to do questions. I want you all to write the answers and keep them ready, and then I'm going to send you the answers and see if you can if you have managed to answer them correctly. So with this, I'll take your leave, children. Have a nice day studying the rest of the subjects. Bye bye.